Hello everybody, welcome to IT Skills channel. Today's video we're going to go ahead and deploy new DCs. So we have a domain controller right now in our environment. It's just one domain controller we have. It's a physical domain controller, but we're supposed to have multiple domain controller. You can see this DC01 is a real one. These two don't exist anymore, and I need to delete them and I need to re-add them again. So I'm going to first of all delete those two. Are you sure? Yes. It's not gonna like this. I'm gonna delete it, and I'm gonna delete. This is not the normal way, but I was building a server, and the server hypervisor I was building did not work out correctly for me, so that's why those DCs are gone, and I didn't have my backup set up properly for that. So today's video, we're gonna set up a DCs, the new DCs, with the same IP and the same host name. So by the time we're done with that, then we can go ahead and actually add more DCs that way. So the reason I also wanted to redo the new DCs anyways is because we're going to be doing it on server 2025, which is awesome, which is sweet, which is lovely. I love server 2025. The feel, the look is all amazing. We're going to deploy the new DC on a fresh build. So the IP address is going to be, first of all, we're going to be a host name for it's going to be ITKY, DC02, ITKY, DC03, ITKY, DC04. Now you want to ask me, why do you building all these DCs, Aiden? For one thing, we're going to need the redundancy, and one of them is going to be an our ODC, and so two of them is going to be writable. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're going to get that redundancy and we're going to get that feel for it. So this DC is going to be an IP of 192.168.1. So 192.168.111.11. And then same thing, 192.168.112.168.1.113. Those are the DC IPs, and I can maybe zoom in for you guys a little bit so you can see it if those of you who are not seeing it. So that's the DC IPs, and obviously existing DC is going to be the ITKY-DC01. That's our existing DC with the IP address of 192.168.110. That's our existing DC. And so now we will be able to add more DCs to it. This is going to be the new ones. This is going to be it. This one's running server 2022, not old at all. This one will be running server 2025. That's what they're going to be running. So far, so good. You guys hopefully following along. And then, so we got this going. Now we're going to go ahead and deploy it. So a couple of things to do is we're going to go ahead and actually, this is the DC. We're going to leave that DC alone, and it wasn't shut down properly. So that's what we're getting. And here's the final confirmation of the IP. And those are the DCs. So I'm going to actually take away one IP over here. That's 15. And I'm going to replace it with 13. We're not going to be using 15 anymore. So now we have this. Let's access our Nutanix cluster. If I can get to it, here we got a couple server. This is the test server we made. And did we configure anything? This is server 2025 too, already made. It's a template, kinda. WinVer. So this one you can see is server 2025 data center. It is that way. So it's 24H2. And I want to make sure that I check the IP address for this one. Make sure that we're not using the IP address for any other purposes. Let me go ahead and actually configure this here. So the IP address is going to be actually this one over here. And we're going to go ahead, take a look at it real quick. So we're going to go ahead. This is the IP address that it got assigned. We'll change this IP address for now to statically assigned. And we're going to supply the DNS. So 192.168.111. And then sub gateway, same thing, 192.168.254. And then obviously the DNS is going to be 192.168.110. This is pointing to our DC. This is our primary DC IP address. That's why we want to point to that. And then we're going to point to secondary DNS, which is going to be 192.168.12. And then lastly, we're going to point to our last DC, which is going to be 92.168.113. So far, so good. Now we're going to hit enter, close. We're also going to do something here we haven't done. We're going to disable IPv6. It's going to cause us an issue later on joining the domain. And then we can also check out the host name. Come into here, properties. Each of these is gonna have 8 gig of memory, which is fine. We're gonna have this process 2 processor, which is fine. It doesn't need that much, but we're gonna do it that way. We're gonna come over here to the drop down menu. Before we do that, we're actually gonna enable RDP, and I'm gonna back up, make this template out of this thing. So RDP is there. Confirm. Boom. That's good. Then we're gonna go ahead and PC name. That's the name of it. We don't want anything to do with that name. We're gonna change the name by coming computer name. We're gonna rename it by naming it ITKY DCO2. We're not gonna join to the domain right now because it's gonna be a domain controller. It's on its own right. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna restart it. Actually, I didn't hit restart right now. I hit restart later. So I'm gonna restart it right now. All right, so while it's rebooting, I'm gonna go ahead and take a clone out of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually clone this. I'm gonna name the clone. I'm gonna just get 3 clone, and then I'm gonna name it server 2025 template. Looks good. Let me remove this VirtIOs. Actually, I'm gonna keep it right now the way it is, and then we're gonna hit save. We're gonna update this DCO2. We're gonna update this. This is gonna be DCO3. We're gonna update this to ITKY RODC04. So that's gonna be our RODC. And we're gonna also update this to our main name WS 2025, server 2025. That way all the server have the same naming convention. That tells me the operating system they're gonna be hosting. This is only possible by Nutanix. The way it just makes life easy. So that's what we got going on right now. And I'm gonna fire this on. I'll leave the clone there for now. And then if I wanted to, I could actually then install the server, like the role that I needed to get this working, but I did not install it, so which is fine. We can automate everything. What is going on with the cap locks? We're gonna log in here. There is a nice lovely screen. I did forget to type in the time zone, which is a little bit sucky. Maybe I will make a new clone over here after all, because I don't like to make these changes. I wanted the changes to be right there. So let me add the role, and then I'm gonna make a new clone, and I'm gonna turn off those ones. The main thing is about working smarter, not harder. So I'm gonna install the Active Directory role, and then I'm gonna clone it again. Let's go ahead and install Active Directory Lightweight Server, Active Directory Domain Services, and we're gonna go ahead and actually next install. Once it's done installing, I'm gonna clone this, and then I'm gonna do this again. Perfect. So now what I'm gonna do is go back to Nutanix once more. I have to erase DC3 and shut it down. I'm gonna name all of them this one, Windows Server 2025 template, and shut it down. Same thing here. What? I did make a mistake. I think this is a file server. That's not right. I was getting too handsy in there. Let me make sure I rename this one, because that's not right. I was about to say why that's FS3, I think. I was almost getting too happy making the changes. Anyway, so now we can clone this. 2 more is perfect. So that's our RODC. All right, DCO2, let's go ahead and promote this server to the domain. This one is ready. Let's connect. So we got everything we need. If I do ipconfig /all, you're going to see what's our DNS. We need to verify this is possible first by pinging our DC. So first we're going to do ipconfig. If we config is so that's our ipconfig 111, 110, and so forth. So that's what we got our IP address here. Then we're going to go ahead and actually, we close the command prompt, but we're going to need to put it back on again. Ping ITKY DCO2 or O1. There you go. We can ping the DC. Connection is solid and happy. Now we're gonna go ahead to the properties. We're gonna go ahead to domain, change domain, type in our domain name. Actually, we're joining this domain. We're promoting this to a domain controller, not joining this to the domain. So we're gonna need to get out of here. We almost got it too excited there. So let's go ahead, open Server Manager. From Server Manager, once we install the role, you can see the role. We installed the Active Directory domain services. We installed that. It should be checked right now. We install this. Now we're going to promote the server to domain controller. So come over here to this option, click promote the server to domain. Once you install the role, you're going to get this option. You click promote, add a domain control to existing domain. You're going to do iteachky.org, and then we're going to put in our username. This is the one of the domain admin username I have. And then we're going to put in our password. Oopsie, we did some wrong over here. Let's put in here again, username, then password. So we're having a little issue because let's see what is the problem here. So that should have found the domain. Credential is not right. That's the problem. Our credential is a messy. One more time because I'm butchering my password. All right, we got the credential right now. So we got the credential right. That was a little bit weird to get it typing, but now we're going to put in our password again. All right, now we should get our password typed in. For some reason, it's still not resolving though. So we need to make sure that we type our password again. So it looks like it's resolved now. We're going to hit next. We have one DC in there. It's going to be any DC. We're going to do the sysvault anywhere. We're going to actually put the sysvault in a share right now. So let me map the network share. Normally I don't do this, but I'm going to do it this time. Actually, I'm going to do it on the second DC. For this one, we're going to put in the local share. That's fine. The local drive is okay for this one. And I'm going to hit next and install. We're not done yet. We can close the wizard if we want to, but I want to continue opening the wizard. All right, the domain controller has been added and the computer is rebooting right now. And this is the expected operation you expect whenever you add a new domain controller to your environment. You're going to get this and it's going to add it. So now it's going to try to boot to that one. I don't want it to go to boot to the DVD. I need to probably unmount that if I can. So instead of actually accessing the domain from this GUI, I'm going to go back to my RDP screen and check a couple things. I'm going to refresh my current domain, existing domain. I'm going to refresh it. DC02 showed up now. And then on top of that, I'm going to actually create a new remote desktop connection for the new DC so we can check it out. But it's not much to it. Just going to need to make sure that it's done it. So let me put in the IP address and then I'm going to show you the remote into this domain that we just created. So that's pretty much it. So let's see, Nutanix server. Here is us logging into the new domain using remote desktop. And you can see it's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm going to get a resolution fixed a little bit. Just waiting for group policy client. That's normal. We're still trying to map the drive. Resolution is going to get fixed once this is working. Right now it's all out of whack. It looks like a mobile phone. All right, let's see if this guy, there you go. It's almost done. There you go, it's fixed. This is the new Server 2025 domain. It's ready. It's on fire. So if I click on Active Directory now, click on here, Active Directory users and computers. You can see the domain. If I create a new user, just click on user 2025 DC user. If I do this and I put in 2025 and then put in my password and then put in my password again, there you go. That's how you create the user. Now, if I go back to the second DC, this is 2022. Then I'll see over here that what we got. So like you see this server 2022. This is server 2025. You can see already the layout is just looks like more like Windows 11. So this server 2025 over here, server 2022. Now if I refresh the AD, hit refresh, you can see 2025 DC user. That's it. So yeah, that's all we got, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this type of video, please like, subscribe. Until next time, peace. And I finished doing the rest of the DCs off camera because there's no need to show you this. This is the same process. I'm going to do it 2 more times, one for another domain controller, one for RODC. If you would like to see that behind the scenes stuff, let me know. I can put it in the member section and you guys can see all the snag, hiccups, everything we're facing. Until next time, peace, subscribe, see you later. Bye-bye.